They thought they broke you. They believed that with every cruel word, every betrayal, every painful moment, they were shattering you beyond repair. They thought they had finally pushed you to the edge, ready to watch you crumble. But what they didn't see, what they couldn't understand, is that with every tear, every scar, every bruise they left behind, they were only paving the way for something far greater than they could ever imagine. They thought they were breaking you, but they were building you. They underestimated your strength. They couldn't fathom the power that still ran through your veins, beneath the surface of the hurt they inflicted. They didn't know that every time they tried to crush your spirit, they were feeding your fire, fueling a hunger within you to rise, to fight, to show them what you were truly made of. They thought you were weak, but the truth is, they were only revealing your power, and now it's your turn to reveal it to the world. They wanted you to stay silent, to fade into the shadows, to let their words, their actions define who you are. But you will not shrink. You will not bow down. They have no idea what they've set in motion. They've awakened something in you, a force, a resilience, a fire that will not be extinguished. You are not what they told you you were. You are not your past. You are not the sum of their lies or their betrayals. You are the architect of your future, the creator of your own legacy. And today, you are taking back control. You see, they thought they were breaking you, but they were only preparing you for the moment when you would rise from the ashes of their cruelty and stand taller than ever before. They built their illusion of your defeat, but you're about to prove that their victory was never possible, not because of who they are, but because of who you are. And the world is about to see exactly what that means. They thought they broke you, but what they didn't realize is that they were laying the foundation for your legacy. And that legacy, it will echo for generations. You are not just surviving this, you are thriving. And today you begin to build, one bold step after another, towards a future they will never understand. They thought they broke you. They watched as you crumbled under the weight of their lies, their judgments, their betrayal. They thought it would be enough to silence you forever, to render you nothing more than a memory of someone who once dreamed. But they couldn't have been more wrong. You're not broken. You're buried beneath the rubble they tried to bury you under. And with every passing moment, the ground that once held you down is cracking. What they didn't know, what they could never have anticipated, is that their attempts to destroy you were merely the catalyst for your transformation. Their insults, fuel for your fire. Their rejection, the very thing that set your resolve ablaze. They thought they'd extinguish you, but all they did was build the foundation for your legacy. Right now, it may feel like you've been left in the dark, with your dreams slipping through your fingers, like sand running out of your grasp. You might be standing on the edge, questioning whether it's all worth it, wondering if the pain will ever stop. Maybe you're drowning in a sea of self-doubt, listening to that voice inside your head telling you that you're not enough, that you'll never be enough. It's easy to believe that. When the world seems to be closing in, and the weight of your failures, your mistakes, and the words of those who never believed in you press down like an unrelenting storm, it's easy to feel lost, to feel like the waves will pull you under. But let me tell you something. This is not your end. This is where it begins. You feel like a ship stranded in the storm, unable to navigate through the fog of uncertainty. Your hands shake with fear as you try to find the compass that once guided you. The storm rages on, the winds howling, the waves crashing relentlessly against your fragile vessel. It's easy to lose hope in times like these, when everything you've worked for seems to be slipping away. When the people who should have supported you turn their backs, when every door you knock on is slammed in your face, it's easy to believe that maybe they were right. Maybe you don't have what it takes. Maybe you'll never get back to who you once were. But every single part of you that hurts, every scar, every bruise, every tear, those aren't marks of weakness. No, those are the reminders of your strength. They're proof that you've survived every storm that's ever come your way. When they tried to break you, they didn't realize something. They didn't realize that pain is the soil in which resilience grows. They didn't realize that the cracks they created in your foundation weren't fractures. They were the very thing that allowed you to rebuild, stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable than before. You've been knocked down, shattered by their words, their actions. You've been told you weren't good enough, that you didn't belong, that your dreams were foolish. But listen to me now. Every part of you that's hurting is a reminder of your power to heal. You are not your past, not your mistakes, not the voices of doubt that echo in your mind. You are what you make of this moment. You are what you decide to become when the storm finally clears. The darkness may seem impenetrable, and the road ahead may appear endless, but don't let it fool you. That darkness is temporary. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll emerge not just as someone who survived, but as someone who has been transformed by the very forces that tried to destroy them. You are the hero of your own story, and no matter how many times they've tried to break you, they've only made you unbreakable. You're standing at the edge, staring into the abyss, with the weight of everything pressing down on you. The dreams you once held close are now scattered, lost in a sea of disappointment and regret. And with every whisper, they pull you further into the darkness. You've been knocked down so many times that it feels like the ground has swallowed you whole. There's no way up, no way out. It's easy to think that this is it, that you've hit rock bottom and there's nothing left to hold on to. All the promises you made to yourself about who you would become, they seem like a distant memory now, a version of you that no longer exists. And those around you, they've moved on. They've forgotten you, or maybe they just never saw you to begin with. It's hard to tell which is worse, the pain of the fall or the cold realization that no one is coming to pick you up. But let's be real. You're tired, aren't you? You're exhausted from pretending like everything's okay. You've worn that mask long enough, and now it's slipping. You feel like you've given everything, only to watch it slip through your fingers like sand. Like all the effort you've put in was never enough. The pieces of your life, of your dreams, are scattered in every direction, and it feels like you can't piece them back together. It's all so overwhelming. The weight is unbearable. Every breath feels like a struggle. Every day a battle against the inevitable. Against this feeling that it's all pointless. There's a darkness that wraps itself around you, whispering that this is all there is. That the pain will never end. That you're destined to be nothing more than a shadow of the person you once hoped to become. Every time you try to rise, you're dragged down again, deeper into the mire of doubt and despair. It's like a cycle you can't break. Every step forward is met with 2 steps back, and with every failed attempt, your belief in yourself withers just a little more. But listen, this is not the end. I know you feel like it is, like there's nothing left, like you've been swallowed whole by your own fears and failures. But I promise you, this is just the beginning. The pain you feel, the loneliness, the isolation, it's not a sentence. It's not your fate. It's the fire that is forging you into something unbreakable. I know it's hard to see right now. I know it feels like you're lost in the dark with no way out. But trust me, the darkness is not your enemy. It's your teacher. The storm is not here to destroy you. It's here to shape you into someone stronger, someone capable of standing tall in the face of whatever comes next. Yes, you're in the depths right now, but the depths are where growth begins. When you're down, when everything feels like it's falling apart, you're also at the perfect moment for rebirth. You're being stretched, your heart is being tested, your resolve pushed to its limits. And though you may not see it now, every ounce of pain you've endured, every moment of doubt, is carving out a space within you for something greater to emerge. You don't have to understand it right now. You don't have to have all the answers. But this dark place, it's the soil from which your strength will grow. And soon enough, you'll see that this pain, this despair, wasn't your undoing, it was your awakening. So yes, it's dark. Yes, it feels like you've reached the bottom, but don't let that fool you. The storm is not your end. It's the beginning of your new strength. And when you rise, and you will rise, you'll realize that everything you thought was meant to break you was only preparing you for what's coming next. You may not feel it now, but I want you to understand something. Deep down, in the very core of your being, there's a flicker. It's a spark. It's small, barely visible, maybe even buried beneath the weight of everything you've been through, but it's there. And I'm telling you, that spark is everything. It's more than just a faint glimmer of hope. It's the first sign that change is already taking root. You see, even the tallest oak was once a fragile seed, hidden in the dirt, waiting for the right moment to push through the surface and reach toward the sun. And the winds didn't break it. The storms didn't destroy it. They made it stronger. And in the same way, you are being made stronger by everything that has tried to tear you down. Right now, it might seem like you're stuck in a dark, endless winter. But what if I told you that this very moment, this place where you feel most defeated, is the soil where your transformation is beginning? What if I told you that everything you've endured, every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you felt like giving up, is part of the process that's leading you to something greater? The truth is, the things you've gone through, the pain, the hardship, the doubt, it hasn't been for nothing. It's been preparing you to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, stronger than ever before. Inside you lies a force they can't control, a power that no one, not even your fears or your failures, can ever take away from you. I know it's hard to see right now. I know you're still reeling from everything that's happened, feeling the weight of the world pressing in on you. But I promise you, it's in these darkest moments that the strongest parts of you begin to awaken. The seeds of change have been planted, and they are quietly sprouting beneath the surface, gathering strength, preparing to burst forth. Don't mistake the quiet for nothingness. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. You don't need to see the roots growing deep into the soil to know that they're there. digging in, reaching for stability. You don't need to watch the seed sprout into a shoot to understand that the change is coming. It's already happening. Your transformation is underway, and it's being nurtured by everything you've survived. But here's the truth. Transformation doesn't happen by itself. It requires effort. It requires you to dig deep, to trust that the small steps you take now, no matter how insignificant they may seem, are pushing you closer to who you're meant to become. Growth takes time. You can't rush the process. You can't force the tree to grow any faster. But you can nurture it. You can tend to it, feed it, give it the right conditions to thrive. And the same goes for you. Every time you decide to get up, even when it feels impossible, you're planting the seeds of your future self. Every time you choose to fight, even when the fight feels like it's too much, you're giving your inner strength the chance to grow. Every time you refuse to give in to the doubt, the fear, the negativity, they become less and less powerful. You are, right now, in the process of reclaiming your power, your worth, your fire. And that fire, though it may seem small and fragile at first, will grow. It will become a force that nothing and no one can stop. There's something else you need to understand. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. Understand? You don't need the entire map to start walking the path. All you need is to trust in the process, to know that the seeds you're planting today will one day blossom into something magnificent. You've already come so far, even if it doesn't feel like it. Every time you choose to move forward, no matter how small the step, you're choosing change, you're choosing growth, and that is the foundation of your legacy. You're standing on the edge of something beautiful. The storm may not have passed yet, but the seeds of your future have been sown. And even if you can't see it now, you're more powerful than your circumstances. The world may have tried to break you, but all it did was give you the space to grow. And soon enough, when you look back, you'll see how far you've come. And you'll realize that every moment of struggle, every moment of doubt, was nothing more than the dark before your light. The strength is already inside you. The change is already happening. It's just waiting for you to recognize it, to embrace it, to allow it to flourish. The oak doesn't rush its growth. It knows the power of patience, of resilience. And so do you. Keep moving forward, even when you can't see the way, because the future you've been waiting for is already on its way, and it's closer than you think. Enough of playing the victim. Enough of waiting for someone else to give you permission to rise. The world has already tried to write your story, hasn't it? They've tried to define you, limit you, tell you what you can and cannot be. But let me make one thing clear right now. You are the one who holds the pen. You are the author of your story. It's time to stop letting them control the narrative, to stop allowing anyone or anything to define your worth or your destiny. For far too long, you've let your struggle speak louder than your strength. You've allowed the pain to dictate who you are and what you're capable of. But no more. It's time to turn that around. The very same struggles that tried to break you, they're the fuel for your rise. The hardships you faced, the setbacks, the people who doubted you, they're not the end of your story. They're the chapters that will lead to your greatest triumph. You are not your pain. You are the lessons you've learned from it. You are the resilience that's been forged in the fire of everything you've survived. And now, it's time to take control. Your story isn't finished yet. No matter how far you've fallen, no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you still have the power to rewrite it. And here's the thing, you don't need permission. You don't need anyone's validation. The only thing you need is to choose, to own your narrative. Every day you have the chance to reclaim your power, to stand up and say, "This is my life. I will not be defined by anyone else's expectations or limitations." That's where your true strength lies, in your ability to take back control. Don't let the world tell you who you're supposed to be. Don't let anyone impose their limitations on you. You were not born to fit into the box they tried to create for you. You were born to break it open and show the world the limitless potential inside you. Your struggles, they don't make you weak. They make you unstoppable. Every time life knocked you down, you got back up. And that's the story you need to be telling yourself now. The story of resilience. The story you need to open yourself up to. The story of resilience. You have a choice, and I'm telling you right now, it's time to make it. You can either continue to let your past define you, or you can use it to fuel your future. Your pain, your rejection, your failures, they are not the chains that bind you. They are the lessons that will propel you forward. Every obstacle you've faced, every wall that's been put in your path is simply a stepping stone to your greatness. You are stronger than all of it. You've survived every storm, and that alone is proof of your resilience. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your struggles are what hold you back. It's easy to feel like everything you've been through has left you broken, but that's a lie. Your struggles don't define your worth. They refine it. The challenges you've faced, the battles you've fought, have been sculpting you into someone fierce, someone powerful, someone who knows exactly what they're capable of. And now it's time for you to start believing it. Stop wasting another second of your life playing small. Stop waiting for someone else to give you the green light. The world doesn't get to decide who you are. You do. It's time to step into your power, to stop apologizing for your existence, to stop dimming your light for the comfort of others. You have everything you need within you to achieve the greatness you were destined for. The only thing holding you back is the story you're telling yourself. When you look in the mirror, I want you to see more than the scars. I want you to see the strength that's been built in every single one of them. I want you to see the warrior you've become, not despite your struggles, but because of them. You've endured the worst and you're still standing. That is your proof. You are unbreakable. But here's the hard truth. Nothing will change unless you decide to change it. The world is waiting for you to step up, to rise above your circumstances and claim the life you deserve. And the first step toward that is to take ownership of your story. Stop letting others control your narrative. Stop letting fear, doubt, and pain write the chapters of your life. It's time to pick up the pen. You are the one who gets to decide how this story ends. From this moment forward, I want you to make a promise to yourself. You will no longer play the victim. You will no longer let anyone else define your future. You will own every chapter, every page, every word. Your past will no longer hold power over you. It will no longer dictate your potential. You are the author and you're writing the most powerful story of your life. This is your time to rise. You've been living under the weight of their expectations, their judgments, their cruel words and actions. You've spent so much time believing the lies they told you about who you are, about what you could become. They tried to break you. They tried to destroy you, tried to convince you that you weren't strong enough, that you weren't worthy enough, that you didn't have what it takes. And for a while, maybe you believed it. Maybe you let their poison seep into your soul, filling you with doubt, paralyzing you with fear. But here's the moment of truth, the moment that changes everything. They didn't break you. No, they didn't break you. What they didn't realize is that everything they threw at you, every time they tried to tear you down, they were sharpening you, strengthening you, building you into someone they could never understand. What they saw as your weakness was the very thing that turned into your greatest strength. The weight they tried to crush you with, that was the very tool you used to build your legacy. The truth is, your pain was never your enemy. It was your teacher. Every tear you shed, every heartbreak, every disappointment, it was shaping you, molding you into something they could never imagine. The fire they tried to burn you in, that's the fire that turned you into steel. And now you stand tall, unbreakable, forged in the flames of everything they thought would destroy you. This is the moment you've been waiting for. You are not defined by your past. You are not defined by the people who doubted you, the ones who tried to tear you down, the ones who made you feel small. All that pain, all that hurt, it was not meant to be your prison. It was meant to be your training ground. You are not what they said you were. You are what you've become through it all. Resilient, unstoppable, powerful beyond measure. Think about it. Every single challenge, every single betrayal, every single setback, you survived it. You rose from it. You didn't stay down, and every time you got back up, you got stronger. You became more than you ever thought possible. You were the person they never saw coming. You were the one who, when faced with the harshest storms, only became more determined, more driven, more fierce. And now you're realizing it. This is your moment. This is your breakthrough. It's electrifying, isn't it? To finally understand that everything they tried to use against you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to make you a force to be reckoned with. Every word they used to tear you down, every attempt they made to crush your spirit, they were only preparing you for this moment. They didn't see it. They didn't know what they were doing when they tried to hurt you. They didn't know that they were fueling the fire that would one day consume everything that stood in your way. Now, it's your time. This is your revelation. You've carried the weight, you've shouldered the burden, and now you see it was all for this. Every bruise, every scar, every painful moment, it was leading you to your power. You are not the sum of your failures or your pain. You are the result of your survival. And now that you see that truth, you cannot go back to who you were before. You've crossed the line from victim to victor. You've awakened to your true self, the one who knows their worth, who knows their power, and who refuses to back down. Look at the person you've become. You are the storm. You are the strength they tried to take from you. You are the proof that nothing can break you unless you allow it. And now with this revelation, you can stand taller than ever before because you understand that nothing that happened in the past has the power to define you anymore. You are who you choose to be, and you're choosing to be unstoppable. You are choosing to build your legacy, brick by brick, from the very foundation that they thought would break you. This is it, the moment you realize that your pain was never the end. It was only the beginning of the greatest story you'll ever tell, the beginning of the life you were always meant to live. And as you stand here, in the power of this moment, you know one thing for sure. You are not who they said you were. You are everything you've always dreamed of becoming. You are everything you were meant to be. This is your turning point. This is your revelation. And now nothing can stop you. The storm has only made you stronger. The fire has only made you bolder. And you are ready. Ready to step into your greatness. Ready to claim your legacy. Ready to become the person they never saw coming. The person they tried to break, but who is now unstoppable. You've been forged. You've been made. And now you're ready to rise. You're standing on the precipice of something monumental. You've walked through the fire, you've faced the storms, you've survived the betrayals and the doubts. And now, as the dust settles, you begin to see the truth. You were never meant to stay small. The person you were yesterday, the one who doubted their worth, the one who felt powerless against the forces that tried to crush them, that version of you is no more. Look at you now. Look at what you've become. You're not the same person you were when this journey began. You've transformed. You are the person who refuses to be broken. You are the person who rises no matter how many times life knocks you down. You are a force to be reckoned with, and the power you have now, this newfound strength, it's only the beginning. The truth is, the version of you that's emerging, they're powerful beyond measure. They're beautiful, they are confident, they are bold, they are unapologetic in their pursuit of their dreams. They walk into any room, and the world knows who they are. This is not some distant, far-off version of you. This is the you that is waiting to break free. This is the you who is standing at the threshold, ready to step into the greatness that was always meant for you. Remember who you used to be, the person who doubted, the one who was crushed by others' expectations, the one who held themselves back. That person is gone. You've shed those old layers, those old beliefs, and now you stand on the other side of your own limitations. The fears that once held you hostage, they no longer have a hold on you. The doubts that clouded your judgment, you've cleared them away with the clarity of your newfound strength. You are not that person anymore. You've leveled up. The version of you who was small, who was afraid, who was unsure of their power, they are gone, and in their place is someone unrecognizable to the world that once tried to limit them. You are now the person who doesn't wait for permission. You are now the person who doesn't wait for permission. You are the person who creates their own opportunities. You are the person who sees setbacks as stepping stones, who sees failures as lessons, and who knows that nothing can stop them from achieving what they set their mind to. Look at your future. Do you see it? Do you see the person you are becoming? They are successful. They are confident. They are thriving. They are living a life that only seemed like a distant dream to the person you once were. And it's not just a dream anymore. It's your reality. This is what you were always meant for. This is the life that's waiting for you. You were never meant to stay in the shadows, never meant to play small or hide behind your fears. Your greatness has always been there, waiting to be unleashed. All the pain, all the struggles, all the moments where you thought you couldn't go on, they were never meant to define you. They were meant to propel you into the greatness you were always destined for. Imagine the life you're stepping into. Picture yourself a year from now, confident, successful, empowered, thriving in every aspect of your life. Your career is flourishing, you've built relationships that nourish you, you've overcome every obstacle in your path, and now you walk with your head held high, knowing that there's nothing that can stand in your way. The you that's emerging is unstoppable. The you that's emerging is unstoppable. They take action without hesitation. They move toward their dreams with confidence and passion, and they are unapologetic about what they deserve. The version of you that's coming is one who will stand tall in the face of any challenge and laugh in the face of fear. Because you've realized nothing is stronger than you. Now think about the future version of you who lives that life, the one who has everything they ever wanted. They're not just surviving anymore, they're thriving. They are more than their past. They are more than the failures, the hurts, the rejections. They are the culmination of every lesson learned, every battle fought, and every moment of resilience that brought them here. And now, they are standing in their full power. They are living the life they were always meant to live. But here's the truth. That future version of you is not some distant, unreachable dream. That version of you is already inside you. Everything you need to become that person is already in you. It's waiting to be unleashed. All you need to do is choose to step into it, choose to claim it, choose to stop playing small and start living up to your potential. You are more than you've ever believed yourself to be. And as you stand here on the precipice of the next chapter, you realize this is just the beginning. The life you've dreamed of, the success you've longed for, the legacy you're about to build, it's all within your reach, and you will stop at nothing to make it a reality. This is your moment of transformation. This is the moment you realize the truth. You were always meant for greatness. The you that's emerging from the ashes of everything you've been through, they're a force to be reckoned with, and there is no limit to what they will achieve. You've already conquered so much, and now you're about to conquer the world. Now that you've discovered the truth of your power, now that you've seen the future version of yourself, strong, unstoppable, and thriving, there's only one thing left to do. Step into it, and your path is one of greatness. So where do you begin? Start by embracing your power. You've been given everything you need to succeed. The strength, the wisdom, the determination, it's all within you. Now it's time to take action. Every single step you take from here on out should be toward your future, toward the life that you are creating for yourself. And I know, it's easy to say, I'll wait until I feel ready, but let me tell you this, you will never feel ready. There is no magical moment where everything is perfect and all the stars align. The only way to move forward is to take that first step, even when you're scared, even when you're unsure. It's in the taking of action that the clarity comes. You don't need to have the entire road mapped out. Start with what you know. What's one thing you can do today that will bring you closer to your goal? Maybe it's making that phone call, sending that email, or finally putting your plan into motion. Whatever it is, do it, and then do it again tomorrow. Success is built on consistency. It's built on showing up every day, even when the road gets tough, even when the doubts creep in. But you know what? You've faced worse. You've survived worse. And now, you're equipped to handle anything life throws your way. Your future is in your hands, and the only thing that stands between you and the life you deserve is your willingness to act. So I'm telling you right here, right now, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. You've already been given everything you need to succeed. You have the tools, you have the strength, you have the vision. Now, all that's left to do is take action. Every step you take from here on out should be a step toward that life you've dreamed of. And with each step, the future you've envisioned will come closer and closer. It's not a dream, it's your reality waiting to unfold. I know you're feeling it now, the fire inside you, the urgency to go after everything you've ever wanted. And that's exactly how you should feel. You've been through the fire, and now you are ready to ignite the world. So what are you waiting for? Take the leap. Build that legacy you were always destined for. Don't let anyone or anything hold you back. You have the power to change your life, to change the world around you. But it starts with you. It starts now. Take a breath, stand tall, and know that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. The future is yours. Now go out there and claim it. You were never broken. You were simply waiting to be reborn into the person you are meant to be. And now, the world is about to witness your legacy. Make it unforgettable.